David Murray beginning as a bank teller at the Lindfield branch at the age 16, Murray was CEO of Commonwealth Bank Australia from 1992 to 2005. This period coincided with Chanticleer's 2 terms as banking editor at the Australian Financial Review from 1992 to 1996 and 2002 to 2005. David Murray. Peter Braig He stands out as the most successful banker of his generation. He was adept at managing the CBA's balance sheet, had a talent for spotting innate talent, and made bold strategic decisions. Not all of its strategic moves have worked, as the CBA's sale of its wealth management and financial advisory businesses has shown. His vision of an integrated financial institution did not include changing the Colonial First State culture, which meant that Hayne would not survive the Royal Commission. CBA's current CEO, Matt Comyn, has abandoned the idea of integrated finance and is now focusing on the core banking business. Murray could be grumpy during interviews, but he always provided much better insights into financial services than those from industry advisors. It took the CBA out of its bureaucratic culture, forced it to update outdated technology platforms, and turned the CBA into a talent pool that had been raided by other banks. Chanticleer understands that Murray won CBA CEO position, replacing Don Sanders, due to his success in managing the acquisition and integration of State Bank of Victoria, a deal initiated by former Treasurer Paul Keating. Beginning his career as an economist at Reserve Bank Australia, Mohl was CEO AMP from 2002 to 2008, one of the most turbulent times in history, a company known for its turmoil. Louise Kennerley He executed an ingenious textbook turnaround plan that included the divestment of massive assets in Australia and the UK, and a simplification that freed more than $1 billion in capital. When he left, the company seemed on the path to growth and prosperity. Mohl's path to senior leadership at one of Australia's oldest financial services companies was unconventional. He left the RBA to become chief economist at ANZ Bank before moving into retail banking and wealth management. Appointed temporarily in the midst of a crisis caused by Paul Batchelor's sudden departure. But 6 months later, in October 2002, when he changed AMP's president from Stan Wallis to Peter Willcox, he got the best job. Mohl and Willcox have teamed up well in divesting capital-consuming businesses in the UK. Labour relations are a good case study in exceptional corporate governance. With the takeover of AXA Asia Pacific's life business, all of Mohl's good business was ruined. The company doubled its long-tail risks at exactly the wrong time. Gorman, one of Chanticleer's privileges, is to interview global CEOs from financial services. Over the years, these leaders have included BlackRock's Larry Fink, Blackstone's Tony James, JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, and Credit Suisse consultant Ralph Harmers while he was at ING Bank. But the banker standing above the rest, in Chanticleer's view, is Morgan Stanley's Melbourne-born CEO, James Gorman. Gorman of Morgan Stanley. Following release of fourth-quarter financial results and calendar 2022 results, Gorman shared the lessons he learned from Wall Street Bank's transformation. The former attorney and McKinsey & Co consultant reached the top of Morgan Stanley through the wealth management division he has led since 2006. Bankers close to Gorman say Gorman seemed indecisive when he took over as CEO in January 2010 and is struggling to find his way into an organization that has overcome criticism from some quarters. It has succeeded in increasing its reputation, thanks to substantial financial gains for shareholders from implementing a strategy based on the 2 largest deals ever made on Wall Street. It's clear from his performance at the Australian Financial Review Business Summit in 2021 that Gorman was full of confidence and in a position to set his departure date whenever he could. Perot is now a consultant to Blood Products Group CSL, after an excellent career as CEO from August 2013 to March of this year. He was named Businessman of the Year by Financial Review in 2019. Eamon Gallagher, his tenure was characterized by the implementation of growth initiatives that baffled skeptics in the fund management community. Perot and his predecessor, Brian McNamee, overturned the notion that big-cap companies couldn't sustain double-digit earnings growth. The company's growth was hampered during COVID-19 pandemic because blood collection centers in United States were constrained by inability of people to move freely in community. The task of reinvigorating share price growth fell at the feet of Paul McKenzie, CSL's Chief Operating Officer since 2019. His mission will be made much easier thanks to Perot's legacy. Satya Nadella replaced Steve Ballmer as CEO of Microsoft in 2010. By time he had risen to the top position, the company had lost its way. Microsoft boss Satya Nadella. It had failed to capitalize on its dominance of desktop software, and investors were convinced it was back to old growth. Nadella made a big bet on cloud computing, and it helped drive the strongest wealth creation period in the company's history. Microsoft's market capitalization had increased by $850 billion when Chanticleer visited Seattle in November 2019. Nadella spoke with Chanticleer November in an exclusive interview Sydney, where she talked about everything from job transformation to work-life balance. Nadella's deep insights flowed freely during this interview before an audience of Australia's leading CEOs at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Sydney. ChatGPT's $10 billion investment in OpenAI, which is owned by ChatGPT, has potential to transform both the nature of business and Microsoft. Amanda Lakazi has been the CEO of Lynas Rare Earths since June 2014. She is an outstanding business leader who is rebuilding a company with large assets but too much debt. Almost a decade after taking over, it is at forefront of Australia's quest to position itself at the centre of world's battery minerals and rare earth industries. Lynas CEO Amanda Lakazi. Joe Armau Chanticleer first met Lakazi in the early 2000s while leading a small-time telecommunications company under hostile takeover. It was clear from the start that he had the drive, intelligence, and understanding for a high-performance culture to succeed. He has some great quotes from himself on why women are so good at work. They are focused, determined, and determined. They focus on the right rather than the popular. They spend time communicating with their entire organization to ensure all staff are focused on the key elements that will make a difference. They create work cultures that focus on success, reward performance, and acknowledge underperformance. Shimara Wickramanayake is outstanding for several reasons. After taking over from another outstanding Macquarie CEO, Nicholas Moore, in 2018, she performed brilliantly. She approaches interviews with refreshing honesty, as she draws on her experiences from her personal and professional life. Shimara Wickramanayake, CEO of Macquarie. Louis Duvis. My interviews with him resonated strongly with readers for his insights into the energy transition, capital flows, and how Macquarie perpetuates its entrepreneurial culture. Footnote: as this is my last Chanticleer column for the Australian Financial Review, I want to thank all my readers, contacts, anonymous sources, and colleagues for making this absolutely the best and most enjoyable job in business journalism. You're in good hands with James Thompson and Anthony McDonald, who run the mess hall.